Ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, we are back. Welcome back, chat. Today we will be reacting to the one and only One Piece, chapter 1181. How is everyone doing? I hope everyone's having a great morning, day, or night, wherever you guys are. Shout out to everybody here. Thank you guys for being here. We are going to talk a little bit about philosophy. We're going to talk about some theories. We're going to do some great high level, high IQ interpretations. What is going on with Emu? What is Emu's plan? We're going to be talking about all of that. We're going to be talking about the Shanks down scale. We're going to be talking about the Mihawk up scale. Chat will come in. Let me know how you guys are feeling. How is everyone doing? I hope you guys are doing great. Welcome in, everybody. Hopefully my mic is fixed. I had to switch some cords around. How about we have some Emu art on the screen? Because as you guys know, we cannot have the chapter panels and pages on the screen. We can't do that. We're going to get a copyright strike. Let's have some Emu art on the screen. Mo, welcome in. Dean's Life, welcome in. L, welcome in. King J, Deans, Eli, God bless everybody. If you are here watching, if you are here lurking, make yourself known. J Real, welcome in, bro. Everyone watching, make yourself known. Don't be scared. Don't be nervous. How's everyone doing, chat? Hope everyone's doing great. What's going on, guys? How are you guys feeling? I don't have many updates for you guys, honestly. I don't know what to say. I'm just here to read some One Piece. I'm here to debate. Is that Mula, aka Musa? Welcome back. Hope everyone's doing great, chat. Hope you guys feel amazing. Hope you guys are ready to theory craft. Hope you guys are ready to debate, whatever it is. Guys, I think we'll have open mic today. We're going to have open mic stream. So if anyone wants to come debate me about whatever you want, One Piece, power scaling, religion, geopolitics, philosophy, even if you just want to discuss, share your thoughts, ask a question. If you guys just want to interact with me live on stream in front of everybody to watch, we'll be doing that in a little bit. I'll have the open mic link in the chat. You guys will be able to join and talk to me live on stream in front of everybody through StreamYard, okay? You guys know we always do this. I give the floor to anyone that's looking to come disprove me or prove that I'm dumb, prove that I have bad takes. I give you guys the floor. I let you guys speak to it. Speak your mind, speak your piece. Guys, I want to know, chat, because people have answered this, but I just want to double check. Are there any other OP creators that have like an open mic? They're like, yo, open mic. Any viewer can join. Come join, debate me. Come join, press me on whatever you want. Is anyone else doing that? I want to know, am I offering something that you can't find elsewhere? That's my question. Am I offering something that other people, don't do? Brago does it. Okay, so at least there's two people doing it. I think like the open mic calls on stream, I think that introduces a very very fun element. Honestly, I should have been doing it way sooner. KOL and Brago, but with their highest tier. Okay, see, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about like locking it behind a paywall. See, that's not really like open mic then. That's just like something else. I'm talking about having anyone join. I'm talking about anyone come join and debate me. Like streaming with your friends, I don't think that counts. That's just like a collab or something. Your best friend O'Hara will start doing it soon, but only if you agree with him. Nah, I'm talking about like with anyone joining, not just friends. See, like a collab. Look, a collab, like talking with the friends on a video or a stream, that doesn't count as open mic. That's just like a collab. That's just hanging with the homies. Which, don't get me wrong, I let my friends join the open mic, of course. But I'm saying taking it a step further, allowing anyone to call. Because, of course, like, you know, you guys know this. If I only will talk to people live on stream that are friends or like paid subscribers, paid viewers, there's a high chance that, you know, they're just gonna agree with you. They're just gonna agree with me, right? But if anyone can join, then I could get pressed on whatever. See, I think that is actually because I was seeing this elsewhere. I know like other genres of YouTube, like Christian channels, some of them they do this. They have like open mic callers. So there's some Catholics that do this, Eastern Orthodox that does this. And I was like, man, that's a great idea. I don't know if anyone does it in One Piece, but I want to do that. So now we're doing that. We've been doing that. But chat, without further ado, I say we get straight into the chapter. Are you guys ready? Chapter 1181, a god and a devil. Who's ready, chat? I don't have the stream deck on. We can't do the annoying sounds. You know, all the people that were complaining, bro, the stream deck, man, the stream deck's so annoying. We had to take a break from it. Guys, should we bring back the stream deck? Ninja Park Zoo. Okay, man. Do you guys also, another question, do you guys mind if I just skip the cover requests? Bro, like, I feel like they're always useless. Like, I mean, I guess if you just like goofy One Piece art, or if you like looking at the female characters of One Piece, maybe you like the cover requests. But like, they never do anything for me. Like, maybe a cover request would look cool or something, but I don't know, man. For me personally, it just feels like it's just not something I'm interested in. I enjoy, but you can skip. Like, you know, I see this cover of Carrot singing as she strolls over sleeping panda sharks at sea. I don't really know what to say about this. It's just like, whatever. What do you guys think, chat? Man, we got a quiet chat today. I like seeing Oda's art. You know, we see like 20 to 30 pages of his art every week. All right, let's begin. Memories from 14 years ago. I am the worst king in the history of Elbaf. You must kill me and take the throne, Loki. He was only 144 at the end. Giants usually live to 300. He died way too soon. You tricked my dad, right? That makes you responsible for his death. Now, I want to point out here that it's interesting. Loki has went out of his way to talk about how young Harold is, right? One person might see this and they might think like, oh, well, you know, it's just sad. You know, this is Oda and Loki displaying that Harold, you know, he had good intentions, he had a good heart, made bad moves, but he died at a young age. So sad. You know, one person could interpret it that way, and I don't even think that's like a wrong way to interpret it. But on the other hand, there's an open room, right? There's open dialogue as to it being interpreted another way. In the case that Harold is not or was not a boomer. Harold was not a boomer in the sense of being very old and losing his power, right? It's not like Loki killed some random old man. Loki killed Harold, who was not an old man, like, for an example, Whitebeard, or for an example, Garp. Garp and Whitebeard, these very old men, have been on the decline. The argument is not that Garp and Whitebeard are weak. No, of course Garp and Whitebeard are strong. But there's a difference between being at your peak and being strong, right? That's not saying the same thing. So what's the point here? The point here is this is a subtle nudge from Oda to remind the reader that Loki killed a not old Harold. A not old Harold that went neck and neck with Xebec. So when we're scaling Loki, we need to keep this in mind. Versus people like Blackbeard, right, chat, who took out Whitebeard. But wait a second, Whitebeard was on the decline. Whitebeard was already so old, for one. For two, Whitebeard was having heart attacks on the battlefield. For three, Whitebeard got stabbed. Wasn't he stabbed in the heart? He was stabbed in the heart by Squard. Whitebeard was so nerfed, and Blackbeard took him out. Not only did he take out a nerfed Whitebeard, but that was after like 1,000 cannonball shots on Whitebeard. So the deeper point I'm getting at here, and I know this is just only one line, you know, we're still in the first page of the chapter, but guys, bear with me. The deeper point I'm getting at is that Blackbeard taking out Whitebeard is a much lower feat, a much smaller feat to Loki taking down Harold, right? It is a much, much, much lower feat. So you see people all the time, oh, but Blackbeard got to be the final villain. Blackbeard took out Whitebeard, dude. Okay, but look at the context of Blackbeard taking down Whitebeard. Are you just going to ignore all the context? But look at the context of Loki taking down Harold. Harold and Emu are co-signing Loki. Emu is co-signing Loki. Yo, Loki, you killed my top dude. You killed my top subordinate. Wait a second. Does that mean Harold is above the Gorosei? That's insane. And Loki killed him. Moreover, and I'm going to wrap this up here. Maybe we can bounce back to this topic later, but I want to read the chapter. Last point. Blackbeard, right, who supposedly the so-called final villain of the story, recently just struggled against Law. Chat, Law. Loki killed Harold in a 1v1. It was basically, we could just call it a 1v1, right? Blackbeard had his crewmates with him and barely beat Law. So if Loki and Emu are like neck and neck, right? Loki and Emu are neck and neck, or Loki is impressing Emu, you should see that Loki and Emu are both way above Blackbeard. So that means we have to pray Blackbeard gets way stronger. But I don't have to pray that Emu gets way stronger. You guys see it? Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? We have to pray and theorize. We have to theorize why Blackbeard is going to become 2, 3, 4 times stronger. I don't need to theorize why Emu is going to be 3, 4 times stronger. What? The burden of proof, and let me know, chat, if you agree, disagree, if you're in the middle. The burden of proof seems to be on Blackbeard, on the Blackbeard side. All right, let's continue. He died way too soon. You tricked my dad, right? That makes you responsible for his death. The one suffered most from that inconvenience was Mu. Why? Because you can't use him as a means to an end. You guys already know, we already know, it's going to be obvious, right? It doesn't take a rocket scientist that Emu, right, is the kind of person that treats people as a means to an end. And we know lots of thinkers over the course of history, for an example, Immanuel Kant, right? They talk about how we should never do this. The moment society and people start treating others as a means to an end, society will fall apart. We can't interact. I can't give you my apples for your bread. The whole society falls apart. But under Emu's thinking, I can guarantee you this would only apply to him and it wouldn't apply to anyone else. Only he can treat everyone else as a means to an end. They can't treat him as a means to an end because Imu has inconsistent thinking. And I would argue that evil people and evil actions and evil behaviors and evil worldviews are inconsistent. I would argue evil is generally illogical. It actually doesn't make sense in the grand scheme of things. When you take everything into account, evil actions, evil behavior, selfish behavior is actually illogical. So it wouldn't surprise me if Imu, being such an evil person, held an inconsistent worldview. Let's continue. All right, we see Loki with the hammer. Look at that conqueror's hockey. Oh, hell yeah. Welcome in, Hunt Predator. Welcome in, Deans. Again, welcome in, Viswa. Kingway. Emu's actually acting Jewish. Look at that Loki with the hammer. Damn you. Back then, I don't care about how I'm remembered. Loki with the hammer. Look at Emu with the devil horn. Bro, I was saying this before I went live. Like, I still can't even believe that Emu's revealed. Guys, do you feel the same way? Mula, that's you, right? Mula, aka Musa. Mula, King J, Viswa, Dean's Life, everyone watching, Jordan. Wait, Jordan's in the chat, right? Didn't I just see him? We got Blackbeard in the chat. Can you guys still, Dawn of Ascension, can you guys, like, are you guys still feeling this way? Like, isn't it kind of crazy? You take a step back, you're like, whoa, like, wait, Emu's revealed. We're not theorizing what Emu looks like anymore. Like, he's literally revealed. And how many times were we saying this together, Chad? I was like, look, there will come a day when we know what Emu looks like. There will come a day where we see the One Piece. There will come a day where there's final war. There will come a day when the story's over. And that's going to be the most bittersweet thing ever. Like, us finally finding the One Piece. Us finally getting the Void Century flashback. Us finally seeing Joy Boy. Though that day is going to come. So it's going to be sweet. You know, it's going to feel like a reward. Everything paid off, I'm sure. But it's going to be very bitter because then it's like, oh, man. One Piece is over. It's ending. You know? It's like a bittersweet. And I think Emu, so far, I think Emu's pretty good. I wouldn't, for me, so far, I think Oda needs, Oda's not going to rush and give everything about Emu. Oda's going to slow drip Emu. For now, I think it's pretty cool. Emu's pretty cool. He's pretty all right. So far, Oda didn't knock Emu out of the park. But if I move on to characters like Loki, I would wholeheartedly say that when it comes to Loki, Oda completely knocked Loki out of the park. Loki is hands down one of the best executed characters that Oda has built up and has hyped up. You know, one of the characters we anticipated the most, Loki, Oda absolutely knocked him out of the park. King J with the 6 months. Thank you so much, bro. God bless, man. Me losing one slave over losing your father. Nerona Steen. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, because you know what? In Emu's mind, Harold is just a tool for him. And because I am so important, because I matter more than everyone else, because I am the supposed God, I can treat humans as tools because I have my value is higher than you. I mean more than you to the world. That's how Emu thinks. So of course, Emu's gonna look at the rest of the world like the Gorse and call them insects, call them tools. Especially included with the inflated ego. So no, it doesn't matter. In Emu's mind, it doesn't matter, Loki, that Harold was your dad and you lost your dad. That doesn't matter because you have no value. Loki, you are valueless. Harold is valueless. I am the god of the world. So who cares? What really mattered was me losing my tool. Loki, you're upset you lost your father. Okay, but Loki, you and your father hold no value. You guys aren't celestial dragons. I'm the god of the world. See, that type of thinking, is what leads to this, which, by the way, there's a group of people in the real world that think this exact way. I'm a part of God's people just because of my DNA, just because of my mere intellectual assent. So your value, you hold no value. You are cattle, you are tool. Me, I am special. My value is immense. But you're just an insect, you're a tool, you're a means to an end. See, we have this going on in the real world in 2026. But you're not allowed to talk about it. Lucas, God bless, bro. Welcome in, man. And made us all believe Loki was weak just to find out he might be top 5. Yeah, exactly. I was saying this the other day. I was like, yo, no one expected Loki to be introduced into the story and be this strong. Like, when we knew Loki from just barely his potential relationship with Lola and that goofy little silhouette he had, a lot of people, what were we saying? What were we in the One Piece community saying? Oh, Loki's going to be goofy. Loki's going to be a trickster, right? No one thought he was going to be top 3, top 5, bro. No one believed that. Maybe there was one dude out there, but like, dude, the average reader, the average One Piece fan was not thinking that. And I don't remember who it was. Someone pissed me off. They were in the chat and they were like, no, bro, I literally said that. No, you didn't, man. I don't even know who it was and I don't even care. But no, they didn't. Like, come on, bro. Yo, King J, true or false? King J, true or false? 99% of people just thought he was going to be this goofy trickster like Loki from Norse mythology. What percentage of people, yeah, Loki's going to be above Zebek, dude? Huh? Bro, no one was saying that. Come on now. Come on now, bro. They were calling him a simp, L. You're so right. Thank you, King J, with the 6 months, bro. All right, let's continue. That's not important. The only thing that matters is securing Elbaf's future. Isn't that right? Back then, what did you do to my father? See, guys, we're going to continue reading the chapter. I'm just having all these raw thoughts. 10 gifted memberships from King J. Let's get a Wing Wei in the chat, guys. Wing Wei in the chat. You know, like, I really do believe that Harold, I think Harold had good intentions. I think Harold was a good guy. I just think he was one of those people. Maybe they're a good person. Maybe they have good intentions, but their actions, maybe even their worldview, their way of thinking is just dumb, right? They make terrible decisions, but that's not to say that they're bad people necessarily. I mean, you could be a total idiot, right? You could be regarded. You could be a total regard, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad person, right? Just in the same way, someone could have black hair, but that doesn't mean they're a bad person, but they have black hair, right? So you can be like Harold and just make the most regarded decisions ever, right? Total regard decisions. But that's just a fact of the matter. You don't have to be a bad person, right? That's how I'm seeing Harold. What do you guys think, chat? Do you guys agree? Do you guys think Harold was a good guy? Like, he actually had good intentions? Like, he actually wanted to help his country? Maybe he made bad decisions. Maybe even he had like bad views. But do you guys agree? Like, do you think he was trying to be a good person? Like, he was seeking goodness for his country? Like, he meant well, right? Even though he made the worst. Like, him going to the Gorosei, him going to Emu and saying, yeah, let me be your slave. That is beyond stupid. But we understand, or at least I understand, he had good intentions. It was just a terrible decision. He was gullible and ignorant of the truth. Thank you, Al. Thank you, bro. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Harold was just desperate. Desperation brings polarization and new solutions. He took a risk and trusted the wrong people. Yeah, that's another way of looking at it. Yeah. Johan, God bless, bro. Ragnar Izuchi. Okay, Loki swinging it. You see the little mouse Ragnar's face in the hammer. Okay. Yo, I don't want to keep stopping. Chat, forgive me. Oh, Evil, you take so long to finish the review. Yo, I actually enjoy, this is a serious moment. This is a hype moment. Loki is fighting Emu, top one, the world ruler. And you see his stupid squirrel's face in the hammer. You can see Ragnar's face with his buck teeth. Like, I feel like Oda is trying to be a little goofy, but hype at the same time. And I think it works. Like, it's not too goofy. Like, it doesn't really ruin the mood. It doesn't ruin the moment. It's just like a subtle little cutesy, as Dawn of Ascension would say. Ragnar Izuchi. Okay, the hammer's coming down towards Emu. Emu's looking up. We see the demon. The demon, boom. The demon gets splat. There's a big explosion. Oh, man, this is just some Naruto stuff, guys. Why is this some Naruto stuff? Oh, no. You see the big sword in the background? Okay, is that dude, I already forgot that Vegapunk's name. What's that girl's name? Lilith. Is that Lilith running? Jinbei, Nami, Loki again. I can't believe he tanked that. What's with these black flames? What sort of power do you have? Okay, we have to give Emu some credit here. We have to give Emu some credit here. What percentage of the One Piece cast is tanking that attack from Loki, chat? Even Loki had a reaction. Look, Loki's saying, I can't believe he tanked that. What is the implication here? The implication here is, yo, I'm throwing out an insane move. I'm about to put some real muscle behind this attack. Boom. What? You tanked that? Hey, this is an Emu upscale in this moment. And I already know someone in the chat is going to be saying, oh, keep reading, keep reading. In this moment, this is actually an Emu. Actually, can we say it's an Emu upscale when, a lot of us figured Emu was going to be top one anyway? King J with the 100. Thank you, bro. God bless, man. Since Gerd lost her fingers, I can step up and be her finger. Bro. Anyways, where's my son, Young Smokey? Slandering him. Smokey is dodging the stream today after the Mihawk upscaling. He wants no smoke. He doesn't want to deal with you and I, As soon as he joins, he already knows we're going to be using the words Mihawk and Shanks, and he's not going to like it. He's dodging. Thank you so much, King J. God bless, bro. Who are the Akatsuki in One Piece? Feels like it's the One Piece world government. If you want to take it so seriously, super technical, maybe Holy Knights, but I think just generally speaking, it's just kind of like the One Piece world government. What's with these black flames? What sort of power do you have? Okay, we see Emu with the black fire coming out again. Omen is simply Mu's military might. Wait. Omen is simply Mu's military might. Guys, I still haven't really cracked the code as to why Emu is referring to himself or referring to something as Mu. I think there's still some wiggle room there. Maybe he's possessed. Maybe he's talking about his fruit. Maybe he's talking about a weapon. Maybe he's talking about a spirit. There's some type of wiggle room, right, going on with Emu and Mu. Gigantification? Its power dwells in all things. Oh, is this like a... Omen is simply Mu's military might. Its power dwells in all things. Oh, is this a hockey thing? Maybe this is a reverse Haki. Evil Haki. The Maki stuff people have been talking about. Maki. Okay, we see Loki's hammer and we see... What is that? Is that like a spike ball from Emu? What do you call that spike ball thing? I forgot what that's called. Loki is actually surprised. He's gritting his teeth. Whoosh. And yet, that craving can be easily satisfied via corruption. Wait, did I miss something? Its power dwells in all things, and yet that craving can be easily satisfied via corruption. It merely requires one to submit their will to a covenant. It merely requires one to submit their will to a covenant. A covenant is a relationship. It is a deal. Who are you having a covenant with? You're having a covenant with Emu, right? Everyone who's getting this covenant, everyone who's deciding to enter into this covenant, they're not entering into a covenant with a rock. They're not entering a covenant with Usopp. They're entering a covenant with Emu. But if Emu is the devil, they're making a deal with the devil. Right? These guys sold their soul to the devil. When their envy drives them, they'll achieve power. Those three things together form a trinity. Are you kidding me? Yo, TCB is trolling. They did not use the word trinity. Okay, there's a translator note here, guys. The translator note says, power, chikara, is the stated reading, though it uses the same kanji previously used for omen. Maki, demonic aura. Interesting. Bro made Haki into a Nen power. Is that what Oda's doing last second? Oda's changing how Haki works? Dude, I feel like Oda's going to introduce like some power stuff, some new power system kind of stuff for Emu. And then what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to be upset and they're going to say, oh, Oda, he changed Haki right at the end of the story. Known as Dominion. Shall I grant thee the power of God? Okay, so notice the name of the Trinity is called Dominion. Those three things form a Trinity known as Dominion. So the name of the Trinity is called Dominion. Dominion is a Trinity made up of power, covenant, and corruption. You need to, if you want power, if you crave power, you get satisfied via corruption. It merely requires one to submit their will to a covenant. When their envy drives them, they'll achieve power. Corruption, covenant, power. Corruption, covenant, power. Corruption, covenant, power. This is one thing made in three, but this one thing is known as Dominion. So it's one. So it's a composite one. It's not a simple one. Dominion is one thing made up of three parts, in a sense. It's three separate things together as one thing. Shall I grant thee the power of God? In one step thou wouldst go far beyond humanity. Cough. Okay, the hammer's coming right back at Emu. I don't want it. Crackle, crackle. So God's dominion, that's your power? It sounds more like a deal with the devil to me. Yeah, exactly. See, chat? Oda knows exactly what we're going to be saying. He knows what we're going to be thinking. He knows exactly how we're going to react. Oda knows exactly how we're going to react because he's telling us what to think when he adds things to the story. It sounds more like a deal with the devil to me. Is there a difference between a god and a devil? Well, it depends on what you mean by God, and it depends what you mean by devil. I can't answer what the difference is if I can't define what they are in the first place. King J with the 40. Thank you, bro. God bless, man. There's no difference between Baal and Jesus, Emu. Yeah, terrible take. Garbage take by Emu. I mean, what kind of low tier question is this? Is there a difference between a god and a devil? A god? It depends what you mean by the term god, and it depends what you mean by the word devil. I can't tell you what the difference of two things are if I can't even tell you what those two things are in the first place. I'm not sure what Oda's. I mean, like, of course, we all have ideas about, you know, the theology of One Piece, you know, because there's gods and spirits and stuff like that. But is there an overarching god in One Piece? I would be led to believe that the overarching god of One Piece is sun god Nika. But would you classify like the forest god as god in the way that you would classify Nika as god? In the case that Nika is the overarching god, would you refer to let's say the rain god in the same way that you would refer to Nika as god? Would they be little g god? Baal and Yahweh were originally both thunder and sky deities in El's pantheon. Yeah, it was perverted. It was perverted. The Israelites did that constantly. They would take God and they would change who he was. They would change ideas of him. They would pervert what was going on from their religion, from their people. And the word, I think the word El in certain languages just means God. So, like, for an example, right? In Islam, when they talk about God, they use the term Allah, but Allah is just Arabic for God, right? So, if you read the Bible in Arabic, then it says, love Allah with all your strength and might. Does that mean they're talking about the same person? Does that mean that they took one and applied it to the other just because they both have the same name? You know what I mean? Like that would be a word concept fallacy. Yo, Sway Shocks, God bless, bro. Beats me. I just know I ain't gonna let myself be dominated by anyone. Man, Emu has like a ring of eyes. Chat, what could this be? What did Oda mean by this, man? Emu has just a black ring. Is that like a portal? The world itself rejoices in a state of dominion. Isn't that right? I like how we just assume it's Joy Boy. His silhouette reminds me of that one kid. You guys remember that one kid in the Don Quixote Pirates? That one zesty kid, the shark kid. Why does this guy... Like, we're assuming it's Joy Boy's silhouette, and yes, I get it. I mean, dude, in this translation on Kubari, he's not even using the word Joy Boy. Gillinger, yeah, I can never remember that kid's name. The kid's so forgettable. I don't know why the silhouette I mean, maybe because like in the silhouette, it kind of looks like he has some hat on. You can see like a little strand of hair. I don't know. El was worshipped by the Northerns, and Yahweh was worshipped by the southern people, they were assimilated into one after their people intermingled. I don't think they were assimilated into one when they have so many differences. Like Yahweh is not seen as it's not seen as a god of lightning, like a thunder god. There might be verses in the Bible where, you know, they'll say that like God rides on the clouds or whatever, but that doesn't automatically mean that they're taking from from another group of people, because the Bible will also say, like, for an example, they'll say Jesus claimed to be the true vine. Does that mean that the Bible is taking from like some forest god in Israel? I mean, I don't think that follows. That's a non sequitur. God is described in like many different ways for a reason in the Bible. So like he'll be compared to the sky for a certain reason. He'll be compared to love. He'll be compared to all different things. But the thing is you got to look at the context. You know, if you pull like a Bible verse out of context and you just ignore the whole rest of the chapter, the whole rest of the context, you could make it seem like anything. You gotta read along to see, okay, is this metaphorical? Is this literal? Is this typology? Yahweh is a kind of equivalent to Jesus, but it's more like Joshua and Joseph. Jesus claimed to be Yahweh. The world only rejoices in dominion. The world can only prosper under complete control. Feed, very important. Was he tasked with protecting humanity through absolute dominion or domination? You know, it could have been a task. Maybe his family, maybe his mom and dad suffered, right? And they're like, yo, Emu, you have to save the world. You got to be a hero. And it became an evil thing, right? Think about like, maybe Joy Boy was the good side of it. Maybe Joy Boy's parents suffered and died. They're like, Joy Boy, my son, be a hero, save the world. And Joy Boy's like, all right, I'm going to love and respect everyone. I'm going to fight for people's freedom, right? In a good way, in a healthy way. Versus maybe they gave that message to, let's say they gave that message to Emu, but then it became perverted, right? Emu's like, okay, well, I'm going to dominate the world. I'm going to control the world. And then we got what we have today. No, Yahweh is just a close translation of Jesus, but they don't have the same role. Yes, they do. Jesus said, before Abraham was born, I am. The phrase I am is a direct reference. You could look at it through the Hebrew. It's a direct reference to God's name in the book of Exodus. And if we're not going to trust what the Bible says, we just throw everything out, right? We don't pick and choose things in the Bible, right? It's not how it works, because you're just going to be begging the question, why should I trust this and not that, or trust that and not this? It's going to be a total waste of time, and everyone could just, there's no meaning to the Bible. There's no truth in anything. It's just all a waste of time if we just pick and choose what the Bible really said or not. Like if this part's corrupted and this part's not, like how do you know? You know, a lot of the people that do that, they'll never actually explain how you know that maybe this verse is corrupted and this one's not. There's no real standard for that. But anyways, you can look, I think it's in the Gospel of John. I don't remember what chapter it was. It might be like chapter 13 or something. He's talking to the Jews and he says, before Abraham was born, I am, directly calling himself God, right? The monotheistic God that they worshipped. And that's exactly why the following verses said that they picked up stones to stone him because he made himself out to be God. So yeah, he did claim to be Yahweh. But if we're not going to trust the Bible, there's nothing to talk about then. Maybe Jesus didn't even exist. Maybe he just didn't exist in the first place, because how are we're going to appeal to the Bible? Look, Jesus exists. Look, he's in the Bible. But then you want to like remove like half the rest of the Bible. It's like, what's the whole point then? It just seems silly to me. All right, anyways. Isn't that right? Okay, Loki's going for a swing on Emu. Isn't that right, Joy Boy? Okay, I guess he did refer to Joy Boy on the next page. Okay, I can see why people would say that. Could say this silhouette is I see why people would say that the silhouette is Joy Boy. I mean, the very next panel, he's talking to Joy Boy. Yo, this guy lives in Emu's head rent free. He lives in his head rent free. Emu will never recover after whatever it was Joy Boy did to him. Like, Joy Boy must have really scarred this guy, because aren't we all under the belief that Emu took out Joy Boy, he killed Joy Boy, Emu destroyed the void, he created the Void Century, he destroyed the Ancient Kingdom. Emu did all this stuff, he did all this crap, and Joy Boy still lives in this guy's head rent free. That is insane. The reality is Jesus is closer to Moses than to Yahweh. Okay, it doesn't even. Did you even respond to what I said? No, Yahweh is just a close translation of Jesus. Okay, I think that's the one I responded to. The basic name Jesus is written Jesus in Java. Okay. Tetragrammaton of Yahweh is also 666. I don't know if that's actually true. The Hebrew translation is Yahweh, and the translation. Okay, can you just respond? How do we deal with Jesus calling himself Yahweh? Or do we just pick and choose out of the Bible? And then we would all just have different beliefs, and then it just all ends up being nothing, right? Like, if you have an item, or if we have like if we have this item or like a book or something, and you could do whatever you want with it, then it has no meaning, right? It has no meaning at all. It really serves no purpose. King J with 100. Thank you, brother. God bless, man. So Emu's solution for world peace was domination, which means 0.2% of people holding all the power and owning everything. Interesting. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. These people think that we're all just cattle, we're all just dumb. We're here to serve them. They're the godly people. They are the ones with the truth. They are the special ones. And then they hold all the power. And we know deep down inside that this is not right. We know deep down inside that this is corrupted. But when we point this out, when we talk about this, the instant retort is, oh, well, you're just anti-celestial. You just want celestials to suffer and die, don't you? Which as a retort, as a response, isn't even a proper response to the initial concern, right? I think it's a sensible concern. I think it's a human response to think, hey, you know what? This small group of people owning everything while children are starving, people are homeless, there's crime everywhere. I don't think that's right. Even in the utilitarian mindset, you could recognize this. But again, when you call this into question, the only response is, oh, well, you just hate celestial dragons, which doesn't help anyone. That it helps no one. And the people that act that way they're tools of the celestial dragons. Those are the illogical tools of Emu, the illogical tools of the devil. Because if they had any ounce of intelligence and fairness and empathy, they would realize that these are not prime conditions for humans to live in. A big note with 100. Thank you so much, brother. I am is literally L, not Yahweh. L equals JC. Yahweh equals Big Yahoo. I'm confused, man. I'm not entirely sure what you're going for. I'm probably misunderstanding you. Forgive me, but thank you so much, bro. God bless you. Thank you for supporting. Do you think it's unethical to conduct business with celestial dragons? I mean, not necessarily. Like, I don't believe that anyone is inherently evil, right? I try my absolute best to critique people's beliefs and critique people's worldviews. We all make mistakes, chat. We all fall short. I fall short, chat. I'm a flawed person. I try my absolute best to critique how people think and critique actions and stuff like that. But when you have a group of people and they are defined by certain behaviors, and you know that those behaviors are very detrimental to society, you can't help but to call into question that group, right? I could give an example of what I'm trying to say. Guys, don't apply this example to celestial dragons. I'm just trying to give an example as to what I'm saying. For an example, right? PDF files, they are defined by doing this heinous act to children, right? That's how we define a PDF, right? In that case, we're going to fall into this behavior of critiquing PDFs and maybe even having disdain towards PDFs because they are defined. Who they are is because they have A, B, C, D, E, F, G under their belt, right? So in the same way, when you look at celestial dragons, it's kind of the same way. It's kind of the same way. Especially like you look at studies, right? What do celestial dragons believe? Do they support this war? Do they not support that war? Do they support this law? Do they not support that law? You come to find out that, over 90% of celestials support very terrible things. And one more thing, it also would depend on what is your benchmark for a celestial dragon? That's another thing, right? What is your benchmark for a celestial dragon? What makes someone a celestial dragon? Because I might go on like a whole hour-long tangent on like celestial dragons, bro, get them out of Marijoa, right? But then you see my celestial dragon as a term in a totally different way. And because you and we don't see them the same way, we're going to both be talking past each other. You know what I mean? But to answer your question more directly, I don't necessarily think I don't think that's necessarily wrong, right? I don't think people are inherently evil. I think people become evil by what they do. And technically, I mean, it really depends on how you use celestial dragon, right? We're gonna get back to the chapter, guys. We need to continue with the chapter, but it really depends on how you use celestial dragon. In one sense, I would say, let me say it this way. There's a lot of good J-ish people. Some J's, they're completely normal, right? But when I think sometimes like of celestial dragons, I'm talking about the J's that, they follow the faith of Emu, right? They reject the Messiah. Okay, once you go that far, you've already crossed the line, because once you sign up for the religion of Anti-Nika, you got to understand there's a bunch of things that come with that, right? And none of those things are good. So that leads people into critiquing J's. That leads people into critiquing J-ish behavior versus like a random J that's just not like a normal person. We're not talking about him. We're not talking about those kinds of guys. I hope that answers your question. It's so annoying to talk in between the lines. I feel like it makes these conversations more confusing, but YouTube, I don't know, YouTube's a little sensitive. Anyways, let's continue. Nom, nom, nom. Luffy's eating. Excuse me. Nom. Nah, I need more. I gotta eat more. I've never felt anything like this before. Shoot, it's so heavy. It's like I'm suffocating. What's with this guy's hockey? If I don't eat all this, we can't win. More. You still lost in thought? Yo, Emu's over here once again fantasizing about Joy Boy in the middle of a fight. Look, Emu just got smacked by a full hammer swing right on his body, perfectly aligned with his body, because he's over here fantasizing about Joy Boy. That tells me one thing. You're underestimating me. Okay, this is a full Loki attack. This is a full Loki attack. If Emu tanks this, that means Emu has some of the highest defenses in the entire story. Because what percentage of One Piece characters are tanking a full Loki hit? Chat, 99% of the cast is dead. They are dead in this blast. They are dead in this attack. Look, this is a boom. This is a 100% swing from Loki. If Emu tanks this, what does that say about Emu, huh? John the Divine wrote in Revelation 6:66, their God is made to be the God of Abraham. What do you mean? I gotta be misunderstanding you. Do you think Emu will have a reaction to Luffy's Straw Hat? That's actually a great question. I think it makes sense that he would, right? Emu would see Luffy in Gear 5 with the Straw Hat, possibly. Maybe the Straw Hat's like on his back. Joy Boy, you've returned. Yeah, I can see that happening. Why not? Or maybe he won't. I don't know. I would lean towards yes. I'd imagine he'd have he'd probably say Joy Boy. Didn't that happen last arc at Egghead? Didn't Emmet see Luffy? Hey, Joy Boy, get over here, Joy Boy. Luffy doesn't know who Joy Boy is. Luffy actually doesn't care who Joy Boy is, but it appears to me that Luffy and Joy Boy, they're going to have the same worldview. They're going to operate the same way. Luffy is going to be the kind of guy that fights for free will, whether Luffy's philosophical or not, right? The number 666 also comes from Tetragrammaton, Yahweh, Yah, or 6 twice. Okay, I gotta look that up to see if it's even true, but I'll tell you right now, a lot of people, how they understand it with 666, a lot of people apply that. I'm not necessarily saying you have to believe this. I mean, you don't have to believe anything, but a lot of people believe that Nero was 666 because if you actually do the math, you know, with the Hebrew letters and whatnot, it lines up with 666 perfectly. And Nero was actually the one persecuting the Christians in the first place. King J with the 40. Thank you so much, brother. Emu, God bless. Emu, Lily, Joy Boy threesome could have solved all this. Okay. I don't know why you guys are such gooners. And when I say you guys, I'm talking about King J and Smokey. Those are the main culprits. It started before Nero was born. The Book of Revelation? I don't think that's true. Yeah, Enmo being a total gooner. Zedeko, God bless, bro. Yo, King J, you need therapy, bro. You need psychiatry. All right. You're underestimating me. Boom. Emu gets blasted 1,000 yards out, 1,000 miles away. Ugh. Cough, cough. Emu's sitting there. Emu's gritting his teeth at as soon as he gets like slammed with the hammer, he's about to take a dragon blast. Thorheim, thou really hast returned. A fearless smile. Yo, and that's the chapter. Everyone drop your rating down below. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff. How do we feel about the chapter? How was the chapter, guys? I feel like it's actually a little underwhelming, especially because there's a break next week. 11 pages, really? I guess it was more than 11 because on this website, the double pages are counted as 1. 12, 13, 14. It was a 14-page chapter? 14 pages. Yo, we need to make Oda stop being so lazy. We're here for peak, man. We love your story, and you're gonna go on breaks. You're gonna drop these short chapters. 16 pages, bro. I'm about to send 16 holy beams on Oda's house if he doesn't drop longer chapters. Okay, I am very impressed with Loki this chapter. Guys, I'm telling you, most of the cast is not doing what Loki's doing. Who aside from Blackbeard, which I would even argue Blackbeard himself wouldn't be acting like this. Who in the Blackbeard Pirates can do this to Emu? Who in the Marines can do this to Emu? Who in the Straw Hats can do this to Emu? Who can do this to Emu? Tell me, what percentage of the One Piece cast is fighting like this against Emu? Probably less than 1%. This display of prowess from Loki, this is unmatched. We've never seen anything like this before. Loki is on a different level. I'm on a new level. He is literally going toe-to-toe with the king of the world, the so-called god of the world. And he's putting in work. Yo, if I'm being real with you, Zoro is not doing this. I'm sorry. Zoro is not doing this. So what, is Loki 5 times above Zoro? Maybe. But wait a second, Loki's probably above Luffy. Blackbeard is not doing this, chat. Blackbeard is not doing this. I'm sorry. I don't care how much you like Blackbeard. I don't care how cool you think Blackbeard is. We don't care. We don't care that you think, oh, Blackbeard got aura. Bro, we don't care. No one cares how much you like Blackbeard. We don't care. Blackbeard struggled against Law. That's the fact of the matter. Don't be upset with me. Be upset with Oda. Blackbeard had gang members and he struggled against Law. Really? Law? Where do you guys scale Law to Emu? Where do you guys scale Law to Loki? Be real. None of you guys have Law in the same tier as freaking Emu. None of you guys have Law in the same tier as Loki. If you do, what drug are you on? My point is that Emu and Loki are totally on a different level than Blackbeard. It's not even close. It's not even close. Now let me hear the cope. I'm ready. Let me hear the cope. Right? Let me hear the cope. Let me hear how people, oh, bro, you're just a hater, man. You're just hating on Blackbeard. You're a hater. F you, bro. Listen, me being a hater is not an argument. When we saw the tail end of that Blackbeard fight, against Law, Blackbeard's sitting there panting. Blackbeard was bleeding and panting. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Where do you have Law scaled against Loki or Emu? I want to answer these questions to those of you that, oh, Blackbeard's top 1, bro. No, he's not. No, he's not. We already told you. We already told you Blackbeard's not top 1. Emu's top 1. Because Emu is the one that caused the whole story of One Piece in the first place. There would be no poneglyphs If it wasn't for Emu, there'd be no One Piece, there'd be no Laugh Tale, Fall of the Ancient Kingdom, Fall of the D-Clan, Death of Joy Boy. It's all because of Emu. Luffy's going to liberate the whole One Piece planet, therefore save the entire world, not by taking down Blackbeard, by taking down Emu. Eli, tell me with a straight face you have Law on the same level as Loki. Tell me that with a straight face. My point is that even if, sure, let's say Law's fruit is strong. I love Law. I think Law is strong. Sure, Law's strong. Do we have Law in the same level as Loki? Really? Tell me that with a straight face. There's no way. Let alone Law in the same level as Emu. There's no way you genuinely believe that. If Luffy 1v1's Law, that's a low diff. Law's not even... Law is not tanking a Bajrang gun from Luffy. That is not happening. So what's my point? Blackbeard was panting and bleeding against Law. And Blackbeard had crewmates with him. Did he not? Did Blackbeard not have crewmates with him? Oh, but Law had a crewmate with him. Who? Beppo? Beppo? Really? 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 Edison with the 2. Thank you so much, brother. Inaki Godoy faces Joy Boy. Is that the Luffy actor? What do you mean his face is Joy Boy? I don't get it. Yo, Gingish, God bless, bro. Remove that Law tat. See, now you guys got to pull this out. Oh, you have this one character power scale lower than another character. That must mean you hate them. Come on. Yo, L, don't use this low tier bait. Quit this low tier bait, man. This low tier rage bait. Low tier rage bait. Yo, what do you mean by Inaki Godoy's face is Joy Boy? I don't know what that means. Oda's using Inaki's likeness as Joy Boy? How do you know that? Does that mean Oda's going to give Joy Boy a unibrow? I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Just a joke. People think Joy Boy going to look like Inaki. Yo, Big Wokey. God bless, bro. Stan. God bless, bro. Do you guys think Inaki is a good Luffy actor? No? Yo, Inaki's letting me down, man. He's Mexican. How do you you're a Mexican and you're gonna fumble Luffy, the main character? Yo, Chad, as a Mexican, we don't claim Inaki. Why is his name Inaki? That sounds like a Japanese name. Inaki is not a Mexican name, dude. Is Inaki a Mexican name? Yo, L, can you confirm that? Is Inaki a Mexican name? That is not a... No, Inaki's not a Mexican name. Bro, I've never met a Mexican named Inaki. He's Brazilian? I thought he was Mexican. The Wikipedia page says he's a Mexican actor. His original name is Hector. Yo, I actually... I don't believe you. It has N with the squiggly line. Bro, that doesn't automatically mean it's Mexican with the squiggly line. Joy Boy is going to look like black-haired Shanks. Bro, ew. You think Blackbeard is not stronger than Emu? Blackbeard is referred to as they, and he will split up them like cat twins in Syrup Village, and he will have them retractable... How far will Nigeria come in the World Cup? Bro, I don't know the last time I watched sports, man. It's just a bunch of people running in circles. No offense. No offense. I know there's a lot of people here that like sports. You guys like basketball, soccer. It's called football. Baseball. You know, one of the best things about this community is we're sensitive, but we're not too sensitive. Real men don't watch other men chase. Who is saving the day on Elbaf? Do you have any theory? Well, it's not Dragon. Let's just get that out the way. No, you're hating, man. You're just a hater. Yo, bros, you hating. Dragon on his ways, bros. On God, bros. Dragon's on his ways. Bros. Like, dude, we had to sit through like 4 arcs of that crap. I'm so done hearing people say Dragon's coming. Pause. I'm tired of hearing people say that Dragon is going to arrive. I'm over it, dude. I would rather just assume he's not arriving, and if he does, we'll celebrate. I will chat. We will buy a birthday cake. We'll buy fireworks. Yo, we will go all out, right? But I'm done praying for Dragon to arrive at whatever island we're at. I'm so over it. Just I'll assume he's not coming. He's not arriving. And if he does arrive, hey, then we'll celebrate. I'll be happy. It'll be hype. But I've been burned too many times. I've been burned on Dragon arriving. Dragon's going to come. I've been burned on that so many times. I might be the man with the burn scar. It's Kuma. Don't at me. You think Kuma's going to save the day on Elbaf? Yo, I hate to break it to you. There's not many characters that's going to go toe-to-toe with Emu, bro. If Loki loses this fight, I don't know what to tell you guys. Yo, Vincent, when are you going to download Discord, you bum? We've been telling you for months. Download Discord so we can talk together off stream. Are you not at least 12 years old? Are you going to get banned? King J with the 1,000 rupees. Bro, I feel like I'm playing Zelda right now. I just got 1,000 rupees. What color is that? What color is that on Zelda, the 1,000 rupees? Let's go. What's the 1,000 rupee one? Is it the red one? It's a gold one. King J, God bless, bro. Loki 1 sec after birth was fine falling from a 10-kilometer height. Kaido had a headache from falling 7 kilometers. If Loki at birth has more durability than Kaido, what's Law going to do? Infant Loki over Prime Law. You missed the panel where Lilith was carrying Sanji's corpse. Good. You should be happy I skipped that panel of Lilith carrying Sanji's corpse because I would be talking so much crap. You guys would leave the stream. You guys would have left. Thank you so much, King J. God bless. Cue the Gerudo Valley song. That is some insane lore right there. Thank you so much, King J. I got infant Loki over Law. But what's the point, though? King J, what's the point here? The point here is that we are not scaling Law very high. But wait a second. Blackbeard needed his friends to help him barely defeat Law. We should King J, you want to start asking the real questions with me? Let's ask the real question. Would Blackbeard have defeated Law if Blackbeard didn't have his crewmates with him? Oh, this is going to be a tough pill for people to swallow. You're just a hater. You're going to be wrong. Would Blackbeard have defeated Law if Blackbeard had no crew members with him? And yes, I get it. That's an if situation. That's a possibility, right? We don't know for sure, but just think hypothetically. Can you in your heart say that Blackbeard with his crewmates who barely defeated Law, would he have defeated Law if Blackbeard had no crew with him? What's the point here? The point here is that Blackbeard barely beat Law. So if Blackbeard can barely beat Law, and Loki is being scaled above Herald, and Herald is clearly powerful, neck and neck with Xebec, being classified as Emu's top subordinate, meaning Harold is above the Gorosei. What does that tell you about Loki? But wait a second, what does that tell you about Emu? So clearly, Blackbeard is not going toe-to-toe with Emu. He's not, bro. Do the math. Do the math. I'm going to drop the open mic in a second. Anyone that wants to debate me on this, Blackbeard, Emu, Sanji, Zoro, whatever you guys want to talk about, even if it's non-One Piece, I'm opening the open mic. Hold on. Let's see. Join. I'm going to put the link in the chat. Anyone can join. Join streams open mic. Anyone can join. Mods, help me repost this every 5 or 10 minutes. Anyone could join the stream. Come join. Share me your comments, questions, theories, concerns. I don't think Blackbeard in this moment is defeating Emu. Therefore, if Blackbeard is ever stronger than Emu, it's because Oda's presenting something new to the story. Therefore, Emu over Blackbeard is way easier to build than Blackbeard over Emu. Do you think One Piece is the best epic after the Bible? Yeah, I think so, yeah. I mean, I've read my fair share of manga. I've watched my fair share of anime. I obviously have my problems with One Piece. People get so butthurt all the time when I critique Oda, when I critique One Piece. But I think One Piece is the best manga ever. I think it's the best anime. It's the best fiction. Might be the best fiction of all time. But just because I think Oda is like the best fictional writer, just because I think One Piece is the best manga and anime, doesn't mean I can't critique it. If I don't like something in One Piece, I don't like it. And to be honest, I don't feel like pretending to be a certain way to receive a certain reaction. I hate that kind of stuff. I think that kind of stuff is so petty and it's literally fake. So if I don't like something in One Piece, I'm going to just genuinely say, I'm going to be honest and say, hey, I don't like it. Right? A lot of people do this. This isn't something special. I'm not special, right? A lot of people, when they don't like something, they just say it, right? It's just a friendly reminder, right? I'll check DMs in a second. It's just a friendly reminder. I'm not going to pretend to like something. I'm not going to pretend to dislike something. And you know, if I wanted to, I could just pretend everything in One Piece is just beyond perfect. You know why? Because people like seeing that, and it's easy likes, it's easy retweets, it's easy followers to just call everything peak. For an example, I'll give you an obvious example, right? Oda has Oda has like a consistent drawing style, right? Would you guys agree? Like, you look at the One Piece cast, you could think like, oh yeah, this character's from One Piece. Like, Oda has his own style. Would you guys agree? I could be like other people and I could say, oh my gosh, look, this one character like 800 chapters ago looks just like this other character now. Foreshadowing, right? When in reality, it's just Oda maintaining a drawing style. It's not like some mind-blowing genius foreshadowing stuff, right? But I could do that and just farm easy likes. And if you guys want to do it, be my guest. I'm giving you guys the sauce right now. You want easy likes and retweets? Just gas everything up. It's not hard, but yeah. All right, let's see what Mr. King J has to say. Let me put this on the screen. And we're going to start the open mic in a second. If anyone wants to join, join. I would join, but I low-key don't have Discord. No. We're not on Discord. We're on StreamYard. And hurry up with your dump taking. Hold on, guys. Let me put this on the screen. Who is in the open mic backstage with the name God Usopp? Usopp is a total loser. Hold on, I'm trying to get this on the screen. Okay. So we see what's her name? Lilith going to, oh, that was Sanji. I didn't even think to look. Yeah, Sanji, Lilith, Bonnie. Science group took him. He might get a cyborg upgrade from Lilith. He might finally reach high Yonko Commander 2 level. Oh, that's sad. Sanji's so late to the party. So late to the party. About to make an AI chapter reaction channel that only glazes. Yo, that's easy. The ghost of Tiante Black isn't causing mic problems this stream. I think I fixed the mic issues. Yay, hey, chat. Streets are telling me that Tiante Black, he likes talking to the little ones, if you guys could catch my drift. And I don't know if he's responded to that yet. I think he's kind of ignoring things at the moment. But shameful. All right, guys, I'm gonna let you guys vote on it. Do you guys want me to drag like 2 or 3 people into the call, or should I go one by one? Because you guys know we have this issue all the time where if I have like 4 people in the call will start glitching. Then the people don't hear each other. Oh, I can't hear him. He can't hear me. Then they start talking over each other, and then people got to leave and reconnect. What do you guys think, chat? Should I have 3 or 4 people in the call, or should I go through one by one? Add everyone together 2 at a time. Gingish, God bless, bro. Who saw Coachella? I don't care about Coachella. I have no clue what's going on there. Keep Smokey permanently and switch the others. Oh, because you're going to rage bait them.
Hey, yo.
Yo, what's up, bozos?
Shut up, bozo.
You're just mad. You're mad that the Mihawk stocks are up this week.
Yeah, young turkey. Yeah,
Am I
What's going on, guys?
No, you're good.
Can everybody?
Yeah, you're good. I can hear you good today, Jabril.
You say Jody?
I said Jabril.
Jabril wants
Jody.
By the way, Jabril wants you guys to call him Jabubu. So
but hey, I agree.
Jabubu.
I agree with what you were saying earlier, man. If you don't like something about One Piece, own it. You know what I'm saying? Don't just say you don't like it. I don't like Shaki's God Valley shit. I don't like Ragnar.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
You know, like, because you know, right? Like when it comes to anime and manga, there's a lot of people online where they're hyper defensive. Like, you know, they cried to One Piece like 1,000 times. So when you talk about One Piece, it's a personal thing to them. And if you don't like something in One Piece, they instantly think it's a personal attack on them.
I got to be honest, though. I have been sensitive about One Piece in the past.
I mean, we've all been there. I understand. Tiate is the reason I disappeared from your streams 4 years ago. I only recently had the courage to come back. That's not funny. I'm not laughing at that. Okay, but anyways, Loki, guys, what are we thinking about Loki going straight head to head with Emu, having this type of prowess, having this level of strength, having no fear against Emu, smacking Emu right in the face? What are we thinking about this? How are we feeling about it?
Let me take my agenda goggles off for this. Loki is doing impressive. There's no other way around it. And I'll leave it at that.
Because you guys don't think many other characters in the plot are going to be fighting like this against Emu, right?
I do.
Absolutely.
You
There's
do?
only one person. There's only one person, and that's Loki. That could
I got two.
square up to Emu.
Yo, who's Tiante? Yo, Tiante, is that you? Yo, who's Tiante? He's in the call?
He's here to fight the allegations you just put him under.
All right, I want to hear the allegation rebuttal. Tiante, is that you?
Did someone join as a joke?
Okay. While we wait for Tiante to defend himself. Huh? What?
He's got a hostage.
Yo, wait. Speak again, Tiante.
Threeville.
Bro, what is with that goofy voice?
Okay, I see Jabril. What's up, Jabril?
So that's what you sounded like this whole time.
Yo, it reminds me
Bro,
of Mickey
Eddie.
Mouse.
Eddie, if you don't know what's going on right now, I'm sorry.
Bro, that's Tiante. That's what Tiante sounded like the whole time.
What's going on right now, I'm sorry.
Sounds like he's trying to do a Michael Jackson impersonation.
What's up?
Who the hell is this, dude? Is that actually Tiante?
No, that ain't funny. Oh, mama. That ain't
On
funny.
your, bro. I won't believe you unless you put it on your daughter, bro. Put it on your daughter. Bro. I won't believe you unless you put it on your daughter, bro. Put it on your daughter.
I put on my daughter and everything on my mom.
Oh my, yo, we're getting this dude out of here. Mickey Tiante. Tiante Nick.
Guys, come here.
Yo, Tiante. You're not beating
Wait, I'm playing. Whoa.
Oh,
Relax.
Mo.
It's Mo.
Relax.
It's Mo.
Relax.
Wait,
I'm playing.
Hey, remove the echo. Remove the echo really quick.
I heard
Remove
that
the echo.
He said, wait. I'm playing.
Hey, remove the echo. Remove the echo. That sounds wild. There's a loop, bro. What is that loop? Hey, remove the echo. Remove the echo. That sounds. Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Okay, so Loki chat. Loki, Emu, what are we thinking when we see this Loki versus Emu stuff this chapter?
Well,
Is anyone disappointed of Emu, or are you guys just thinking like Emu's letting Loki go off a little
Just
bit,
leave him
then
be.
Loki, then Luffy's, or then Emu's gonna turn up?
did you see that smile at the end of the chapter? Oh boy, is he gonna be? He's about to turn up. You wait.
So,
Right.
like, go ahead.
Next chapter, Emu gonna be serious.
So this chapter, he's like, "Yo, you got a little bit of power, but I'm not
Can you guys
I'm not
hear
that
Revo? 'Cause I
scared."
can't hear him.
Well, you can't
Yeah.
hear me.
No, I can hear you, but
Oh, Vincent can't. See,
So
this
what
is
I-
what happens when there's too many people.
so
There's a
when I-
limit. I can only add 6 people to the call.
So with me, I think that Emu was smiling because he found a decent fight that he hasn't had in a long time. Emu's out stretching his legs, dog.
Yeah, in a way, I guess both Loki and Emu were prisoners. Just Emu decided to be decided to pick up a prisoner
That's
of his own.
yo, Jabriel, I hear you. King J said that's not Tiante. Real Tiante would have already talked about his imaginary daughter 10 times by now with someone else's daughter's images. Yo, that is insanity. That's insane. Bros, that ain't funny, bros.
Eddie, before we keep on the same topic, I think Dragon can do that to Emo too. Just saying.
What?
What?
Nah.
Now you just crazy.
What?
I gotta
no.
disagree.
I have Loki low diffing dragging that bum.
Bro, Blackbeard will be the final villain of One Piece, bro. It is what it is, bro.
Mo, you want to be kicked, don't you?
Dude.
Same as
I'm
that,
just kidding, I'm just
okay.
kidding. Go ahead.
I didn't like the fact that you said, okay, if Blackbeard crew was not there, bro, Blackbeard will still pack
It'll
up
never
ball, bro.
happen.
That's facts.
Don't give me that trash, bro.
Dude, come on, bro.
Let me pull up the panel of that boy Blackbeard sweating and bleeding
All right.
against Law.
But Oda loves to like off screen Blackbeard, like, bro. We don't know what Blackbeard's true ability is for real, bro. Like,
Bro, but we're talking about Law. Let me ask you, how high do you scale Law?
ooh, he's not stronger than the Admiral, so I say like, fuck. I don't even know where to put Law. Like, it's kind of him and Kid is like in a weird like. I don't know where to like put them at, you know.
Okay, do you have Law chilling with Loki?
Fuck no.
Do you have Law over King?
Oh,
Mm.
ooh.
That's a good question.
Because I'm telling you right now, Law and Kid are not stronger than Zoro. So let's take a Zoro opponent and we'll go from there.
Ooh, I don't know if actually no, I got
Bro.
I got King over Law. Wait, this is hard, bro. Cause like
You got Kid over Law?
no, I said King.
He said King.
Oh,
King.
I
Kid.
also have King over Law.
I'm trying to like,
Yeah,
but that's still
King
hard.
over
I don't know
Law.
where to like, if they get in a fight, I think it's gonna be like extreme diff. Like,
Well, let me ask you this. How is Law going to deal with King's Lunarian abilities? He doesn't have Conquerors. That's his biggest issue, number one.
yeah. So,
So Law does not have Conquerors at all?
No.
fuck no, you know.
Huh.
Does he look like a conqueror? Hell no. Usopp does though.
Oh, here we go.
Get that
Here
shit
we
out
go.
of here.
Yo, didn't
It's
Beppo send
true.
Blackbeard flying?
Bro, come on, bro. Okay, Beppo sending back Blackbeard flying, but come on, bro. Like,
To be fair,
that
Beppo only
was some
did
lame
that.
ass shit, bro. Blackbeard's final villain. I stand on that, bro. Emu's not the final villain. It's gonna be Blackbeard. Watch, bro.
Dude, Luffy defeating Emu liberates the world. Luffy defeating Blackbeard liberates nothing. I guess it liberates Hachinosu.
But it's gonna be a cool fight, though.
The Hachinosu
I mean, it is
files
going to
will
be
be
a cool fight,
released.
but we're talking about final villain.
Hey,
know that,
but
King
guess
Jay?
what, though?
The Hachinosu files are going to get released. That's what Luffy's going to liberate when he defeats Blackbeard. I mean, he's got slaves. He don't do nothing that his daddy did. He got no honor. Blackbeard a bitch for real. Just saying.
Bro, I'm sick and tired of like
He's been demoted from Blackbeard to
the
Bitchbeard.
Usopp disrespect, man. I'm tired, bro.
Did
I'm just
Emu
saying,
do his
daddy would
mascara
be
before going into
disappointed in
battle? Emu did his mascara this chapter. Emu's a rock star for real.
Bro, he looks like a fuck boy.
Beppo was
That looks-
off a sick one thanks to Chapo. Chapo. Should we start calling
Yeah,
Chopper
Beppo-
Chapo?
Beppo got the plug. Dr. Chop. Big Chop.
Big chop,
Right.
street pharmacist.
Yeah,
Look,
Beppo
my
wouldn't
whole
have been able
point-
to. Beppo
My
wouldn't have been able
whole
to save Law
point is
without
that
Chapo.
Law. My whole point is that Law is not going neck and neck with Loki and Emu. So if Blackbeard, let's say at the absolute best, Blackbeard mid-diffed Law. Someone mid-diffing Law is not going neck and neck with Loki and Emu. I'm pretty sure Loki is one-shotting Law.
Absolutely.
Bro, did Dolphy
Bro,
beat Law, bro?
I'm-
Blackbeard didn't
I'm-
one-shot Law. Blackbeard is sweating and bleeding.
Bro,
Y'all
Bro,
dude,
Dolphy beat Law.
Y'all
you gotta know
remember?
Blackbeard's a troll. You see how he fights. He likes to talk like, you know,
Bro,
like
That's just cope, man.
bro, that's how
Y'all-
Blackbeard is. That's how his character is, bro. Like, come on.
Y'all remember the Beerus Super arc for Dragon Ball?
The who?
Yeah, I did.
Loki will just flick Law in the head the same way Beerus did Goku, and Law would just die with his pinky.
But guess what? The Loki's not doing that to Blackbeard nor Usopp.
Nah, he would just use
Yo,
two
Loki
fingers.
is
He would just
clapping
use his
Blackbeard.
middle finger for Blackbeard.
If Loki
Loki
didn't
is
fight right
clapping
now,
Blackbeard.
Blackbeard is off screening Loki, bro. Real shit.
Bro, what was that
He's gonna-
slam that what's his name? Loki did this chapter. Blackbeard's not tanking that. Blackbeard probably won't even tank Thorheim.
Yes, he will.
No, he won't.
Bro, bro. Oh my, I don't understand, bro. The Blackbeard hate is like insane. Bro.
It's not even Blackbeard.
It's not even hate. It's not even hate, dog. I personally don't believe. I don't believe
you guys are
overhyping
Loki way too much. Like, I get it, he's an ancient giant. He got a mythical zone and dragon fruit.
He killed Harold.
He did kill Harold, but guess what? Blackbeard Blackbeard's gonna get another delve for. You know what I think he's gonna get?
What?
Okay, we know he got a Logia. He has a Paramecia. Guess who's next?
Zoan.
I better not hear a Blackbeard takes Loki fruit argument.
Nah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Nah. He's gonna take Emu's fruit. Watch.
What?
We don't even know.
Bro.
We don't even know if he has a Zoan.
Hey,
he could be the progenitor. That could be the original devil fruit in which all abilities spawned out from. Akuma no Mi.
Kuma.
Blackbeard gonna take. He gonna become. Yeah. Hear me out. I know that's a crazy hot take. I know it sounds crazy right now, but it's going to happen.
But I just realized Emu doesn't have eyebrows. He looks weird as hell.
Damn. He in the no
Bro.
eyebrow gang.
Oh, Eddie, somebody else doing that to Emo too. My boy Shanks is doing that to Emo.
Bro, get
Yeah,
that.
bro.
Blackbeard.
Let me
my boy
know when
changes,
they call Shanks the strongest swordsman in the world.
Nah, dead ass, bro.
See, no. Don't let him get away with that shit. What's Mihawk doing to Loki then?
I mean,
You're not getting
better than Shanks.
okay.
Bro.
Well, so
Who
is
captured-
Mihawk
who
still
captured-
getting low div too?
Who captured Loki?
No one's
Yeah.
catching, bro. Most people are not reading Loki.
Okay,
Well,
well,
I got a
Loki
question
is
for you.
stronger than Luffy right now.
Loki is stronger than Luffy.
Okay.
I have
wide
Loki.
margin, in my opinion, too.
I got a question for you, Threeville.
And think
I have
about
an
it, bro.
answer for you.
We have not seen White. Okay, Blackbeard hasn't really used the Quake
Just
fruit
wait.
like the fullest. Like at the full. Like okay, Whitebeard. Okay, we know the
He
Quake
used
fruit.
the Quake fruit versus Law. What are you talking about?
Okay, but he didn't use it like bro. I'm talking about like actually like awaken. Like Whitebeard never awakened the Quake fruit. Blackbeard, we haven't seen like we don't really see Blackbeard fight like that, bro. So like Blackbeard about to do
Shit,
some-
we haven't even seen
Okay.
Whitebeard awaken the Quake fruit.
Exactly.
Mo,
what
you
is
sound
Blackbeard gonna
scared
do?
right now.
What is Blackbeard gonna do?
Blackbeard gonna put belt to ass Loki. What? Actually, you know what? If Blackbeard and Loki get in a fight, I don't think that's even gonna happen because Loki gonna be like, "Hold up, you use the Beck son, right? Cause he gonna see the face. You know, how Loki looks.
Oh, don't give me that
No.
crap, bro.
He's already a disappointment to his father. What are you talking about? The dude has slaves.
First the Usopp agenda, and now this. Get your head on straight, Momo.
Bro, you got
Momo. You called him Momo?
Momo is
Momonosuke.
crazy. I ain't gonna
I'm
lie.
gonna start calling you Momonosuke, bro.
Yeah, I remember like back in like 8th grade, bro, like there was some shit called like Momo the Killer or some shit, bro. Like I don't
Look,
know.
bro. I'm gonna be honest. When it comes to Blackbeard power scaling, it's nothing but theories.
Cause we don't like it's always off screen. So like I mean, we don't even know how.
Let me tell you something. He barely beat Law, but we don't like that conclusion, so we need to use theories.
If Blackbeard's running away from Kid Mihawk, he's not that impressive.
Bro, he barely beat Ace. They jumped Ace.
And
Yeah,
he would have been dead.
Blackbeard is so strong that he needs to jump everybody.
Pull that.
Hey, you got
Blackbeard didn't pull that. I'm your son. Don't kill me, pops. Whitebeard would have deaded his ass.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And Whitebeard was, as I said earlier, Whitebeard was already so nerfed at that point. He was literally having heart attacks, dude.
bro. Womp womp.
What do you mean, womp womp?
The facts are the facts. What
Okay,
the
like,
fuck you
nigga,
mean
like,
with this
They
womp
may
womp
just, they
shit?
may just like guard, but couldn't like got a heart attack. Like, come on, bro. Do better next time. Better in the next life. Like, come on.
All right. We'll see when bro, I would love a story of Blackbeard didn't even fight Luffy. He got wrecked by someone else, got wrecked by Zoro. He doesn't even deserve to fight Luffy anymore. Luffy's
Bro,
one
man,
shot.
I don't think he deserves to fight Zoro for real. Give him to Sanji.
In the Sanji.
Okay, the respect is actually crazy, bro. Come on, like.
Blackbeard gets
All right.
one-shotted by buggy bombs.
True or false? True or false? After watching Blackbeard barely defeat Law while Blackbeard had coworkers, is Luffy one-shotting Blackbeard?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Bro, Blackbeard's not taking Bergeron.
Let me ask you this.
He was close to getting held down.
What if Blackbeard had fought Luffy at that island instead of Law? What would have happened?
Blackbeard would have died.
What would have happened with Zoro, Sanji, Luffy, and Jinbei on that island? What is Stronger going to do? What is Doc Q going to do? What is Van Arder going to do? What the hell is anyone going to do?
Bro,
How
What is
you gonna
Burgess
deal with
gonna do?
Nika?
guys, bro.
Wait. Who would have been with Luffy?
Blackbeard,
Zoro, Sanji,
that is the
Jinbei?
back. Like Blackbeard's top one, bro. His dad is literally the back.
Oh, who was with Law? Who was with Blackbeard at the time that he was fighting Law?
It was
Burgess, Doc Q, and who
Stronger.
else? Was it
Yo,
just
King
those
J,
three?
thank you.
Burgess.
King J said, "Are we
was
gonna
there
pretend?"
also.
King J said, "Are we gonna
Okay.
pretend Blackbeard wasn't afraid of S-Hawk?"
Oh my, here we go.
Exactly my point. I mentioned that earlier. Thank you, King J.
Come on.
Bro, he was
If he
afraid
just-
of Mihawk's offspring, not even just Mihawk.
Bro,
Even Zoro didn't flinch from that shit.
Blackbeard, I'm pretty sure he pissed himself.
Blackbeard's
That's why he's
gonna bro. He's literally Luffy's opposite, bro. Come on, man.
Bro, Blackbeard's
Exactly.
gonna fall behind, kind of like how Smoker fell behind.
Bro, he's literally been built up since Jaya, bro. Emu was just came in like what, chapter like 800, 900 something, bro. Like, come on, bro. What are we doing, bro? Blackbeard's been
Are you
still-
talking about when Emu came
Yo,
in,
bro,
or when
stressed out.
everybody, or when
Yo,
everybody
Mo is
fucking
stressed out right
already
now.
predicted
Bro.
that Emu existed? Come on, let's be real. We predicted Emu existed since the beginning of the goddamn month.
Okay, that's true, but like, come on, like, bro. Luffy's
Okay, hold
still
on,
final
really quick.
Blackbeard's
Hold
not-
on, really quick. Sorry, King J had two other super chats: Zoro over Yamato, over King, over Law, over Sanji, over Kid, and he also said, "Didn't Beppo send Blackbeard flying? Not my villain,
Whoa,
or not my
put-
final villain."
What are we doing?
That's actually a correct scale. Me and King J have gone over this. We both right now have Zoro ahead of Yamato by a little bit, because I think people sleep on Yamato, dude. She's got Kaido's lineage, a mythical fruit, all three types of hockey. She can use advanced Conqueror's hockey coding. She's a beast.
Yo, Vincent's getting called out in the chat. Johan said, "I remember when Vincent criticized me for saying that Emu's gonna look like a character from Final Fantasy VII, and in the end, that's exactly what happened."
No, Emu looks like Yubel from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Come on,
He looks like a
we can find
Naruto
1,000
character.
different lookalikes. I could say he looks like Ganondorf.
He looks like a
Let's-
Boruto character.
Let's not try to take some credit for how Emu looks, because all that's
Bro,
going to
we-
get convoluted, and I need to see receipts. How long ago did you predict that?
I mean,
I saw art earlier. Someone thought Emu was gonna look like a baby with a pacifier, and the Goo Goo Gaga devil fruit.
Hey,
So basically, all this destruction, tragedy, genocide happened because he woke up on the wrong side of the grid.
Yeah.
isn't that the same thing that Bears did in Dragon Ball Super?
hey, you
Who
know
is
what?
that guy? Bears.
Beerus.
Oh,
Who's that?
the rat guy, the Chihuahua.
Nah, he's a cat. Think
Hey,
of like
Dude, he's a
Siamese cat.
Chihuahua. Look at him.
Think of a Siamese
He's a
cat.
hairless cat.
Think of a
Okay, tell
Siamese
me he doesn't
cat.
look like a Chihuahua.
What Chihuahua has long curly tails? Has long tails.
I don't know.
Got you there.
Yamato is 99% as strong as Zoro. What? You're only saying that because you're a gooner.
And to be fair,
I wouldn't. Did you not just hear me say Conqueror's Hockey, Mythical Fruit, Kaido's Bloodline? Like, that should be enough.
Well, thankfully, Yamato's never joining the crew.
Oh yeah, thank God she ain't joined. Oh my, oh shit. I don't like.
Personally, now that we've got all the candidates and stuff, my opinion has always been I want Bonnie number 1, I want VB number 2, I want Loki 3, and then I want Yamato. I don't even consider Carrot.
I don't think we're gonna get another Straw Hat. I don't know, man.
I think it's possible we might not. Oda
Yeah.
could be baiting us all these years.
Dude, I've been saying this for months now. It's 100% going to be Loki. I mean, all the connections are there.
Nope, he's too strong.
Loki's not joining the Straw Hats.
He's too strong. It doesn't fit Oda's underdog
fit.
narrative.
He's really the final arc, and as we could see, Imu is clearly not the underdog in this situation. So,
all right, Vincent. So I'll give you this much: if Oda decides to pull off the cuffs, then I won't like it, but I'll join your side. How about that? Let's make that deal. If Oda decides to remove the cuffs off Luffy, then I'll agree. When Oda stops making Luffy look like an underdog, then I'll agree. To me, right now, Luffy is too strong.
I think Abigna makes a good point. But he said Blackbeard gave Imu a black eye. That's why his eye is covered. Average Blackbeard glazer.
And he's stronger than Luffy, so it's like, bro, like, I don't know, bro.
King J, I looked it up. I know what you're talking about. But that is the average Blackbeard.
He gonna be bitching Luffy, bro. He's like, this is my ship now, fuck nigga. No,
oh, I don't think Mo can hear me. Yo, Mo.
Mo, can you hear Threevil? He's talking to you.
It's because StreamYard's cutting out.
Wait.
I can hear everybody clearly. So
I think it's probably
okay. So, but Abigna, he makes a joke, but there's truth in the joke. It's like,
hold on, I'm about to leave and join back.
About Blackbeard is just all theories.
I mean, there's nothing but theories behind Mihawk too, but we don't talk about that.
But Mihawk is the world's strongest swordsman. That's not a theory, buddy. Vincent, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Can you really call Mihawk the world's strongest swordsman if Imu has the exact same blade but in black?
Who knows about Imu, buddy? People know about Shanks.
We know that he has the exact same sword like Mihawk, only in black.
All right, even if let's say I grant that, then what?
Then
you didn't think that far.
Nah, I know what Vincent wants to say, but he won't say it, but I will. Then Mihawk's a fraudulent title holder.
Dude, Smokey, you are a Class A bozo. People know Shanks exists, and they call Mihawk the world's strongest swordsman.
Oh, okay. The guy who is the strongest swordsman repeatedly beat Shanks? I don't think so, dog. I don't think so.
Why are people calling him this then? Why is this his worldwide title?
Because Shanks gave up his arm and he stopped fighting Shanks.
Bro, Mihawk is still stronger than Shanks, bro. Like, even when Shanks had his arm, bro, it's...
Jin Marks, God bless you.
All right, but what you finish tell me though? I couldn't hear. Phone's fucking.
Tell you what, you forgot.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah.
Nice.
You told. I guess Smokey said you was telling me something, but I couldn't hear you.
Oh, I forgot too.
Oh shit. But I think I said. Well, what did I say? I said.
You said Usopp was trash.
Fuck you.
Damn, what a strong response.
A little aggressive there, ain't you?
But I said if Loki joined a Straw, like I think I disagree with somebody. I think I don't know who said Loki's gonna join Straw Hats, but I said if Loki joined the Straw Hats, that's gonna be bad for it's gonna be bad for the Monster Trio because it's gonna be. And plus, Loki's showing it Luffy, so he's gonna be bitching Luffy around on the Thousand Sun. Like that can't happen, bro. That can't happen to my Straw Hat King, bro. That can't happen to him, bro. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that. Hey, Damon, are you there, bro?
Yeah, I'm here, man. Can y'all hear me?
Yo, what up, Damon?
We hear you.
What up?
Hold on, let me pass the mic to Damon really quick. I think he's been chilling while we've all been just yapping nonsense. Damon, what are your thoughts on this chapter, bro? What is it you want to share with us?
Man, it was cool to see exposition wise, just some of Emu's reaction with him fighting Loki. It was just cool just to see that. It's just like I found myself like going back and reading the Harley text last night, and a lot more stuff is becoming clear now.
I think this chapter for Emu, he got a lot of characterization. The expressions, the way he was talking about domination. So I agree. I like this chapter a lot. Easy 9 out of 10.
Like the thing I really like the Harley text, like the 3 worlds, the Elbaf mural, 1138. I really like that stuff. It's just, I think I was talking about this with King J. We had like a mini debate. It's just like we got to be careful that we don't jump to conclusions on it. And King J, he's about to be so pissed. King J, I'm not subtweeting you, bro. I'm not throwing shots, but I feel like there's like a lot of wiggle room. I understand why people would say like the big demon on the left is Emu. Like I even feel that way, but it's not confirmed. Is the left supposed to be?
By the
Go
way,
ahead.
Up at the top, at the top of the mural where you got that dragon lizard thing or whatever looking down. I know everybody's looking at up at the top of the mural. You know where the dragon's looking down or whatever?
The top middle.
Yes.
Okay.
See, yeah. I some people could interpret that's Loki, and the giant that is right beside Luffy might be Hydrogen, because he might be the Elbaf King. Like Loki's not. I don't think Loki's gonna want the kingship. I think it's either gonna be Hydrogen or they're gonna rule together. So like, there's different ways to interpret the mural. So I agree. Don't jump to conclusions yet.
Jordan also said we finally seeing the real Emu versus his philosophy. So the other day, chat, we had to end stream earlier. There's technical difficulties, and I promised that we were gonna have this philosophical breakdown on Emu and Joy Boy. But going live today, I realized that we were gonna end up talking a lot about the chapter and reacting to the chapter, as well as having open mic. So during break week, guys, which is next week, we'll have the stream breaking down Emu's philosophy as well as Joy Boy's philosophy. And the whole reason why I find it necessary to do this in the first place is because when we look at humans, when we look at people typically, they do things because of their worldview. They believe something, so they generally do it. So the reason you could obviously see the reason why I want to talk about Emu's worldview and Joy Boy's worldview is because then we can foresee what Emu will do, or what Emu has done, or what Joy Boy Luffy will do, or what Joy Boy has done. And that in itself is called a theory. So if we can actually attach a name, if there was an actual proven concept, people with certain beliefs in the real world, and they explained, how they interact with the world, how we ought to live. If we can apply that to characters like Emu and Joy Boy, then it opens up avenues for theory crafting. And I'll tell you guys right now, Joy Boy and Emu, specifically Emu, they have worldviews, they have beliefs that people in the real world have already explored on a philosophical level. And that's exactly what we'll be talking about. So look forward to that, guys. It'll be sometime next week, but yeah, there is Emu does have a belief system that famous philosophers have already explored in the past, and it'll be very useful. And that is not, I've done many streams on break weeks. Go on.
So I got 2 points, I think 2 or 3 points of order. One, the break next week is a magazine break, so there is a slight chance we could get a chapter. Second is, with the things that are going on with the leakers, there could be a chance we don't get a chapter. And then my third one is, I don't know.
You don't know.
So if you're gonna do that on a break week, next week would be perfect. If the
I mean,
leakers decide to hold out. Oh, my
I'm
third one
also.
is why are
Oh, go
governments
ahead.
arresting leakers for leaking One Piece, but they're not getting these PDF file guys? What the hell? Priorities are fucked up.
Yeah, they are. And I don't mind talking about Emu and Joy Boy's philosophy right now, their worldviews. But I feel like what would happen is I would end up mic hogging, and I don't really want to do that. I want to have a bunch of people on the open mic call right now. So
I'm about to leave because I'm not really saying nothing.
Definitely get deep.
But
I'm sorry,
before I
what was that?
leave, I said I'm about to leave. I'm not really saying nothing. But before I leave, I got 3 people that are going to join the Straw Hats.
Let me hear it.
Bonnie, because she want to follow Nika. What's her name? What's the girl's name from one of the Vegapunks?
Lilith.
Lilith. She gonna join. And
See, but never mind. Keep going.
so far, those 2 gonna join.
So the issue with Lilith is she has a lab on Elbaf now. I think we're leaving Lilith here. Bonnie, on the other hand, she could join depending on whether or not Lilith keeps her promise to help Kuma.
Yeah, I feel like Bonnie's gonna stay with her father, and probably Elbaf is probably the safest place for them.
Yeah, Bigna with the 100. Thank you so much, bro. Sorry, I don't want to miss the super chat. Bigna says Yonko Emperor is a bigger title than the strongest swordsman soldier. Shanks over Mihawk. But Yonko includes things like having an influence on the world, having different islands under your belt, leading a fleet of ships. Mihawk's not interested in a fleet of ships or territory or anything like that. And notice how those things, like, sure, there might be a scenario where you needed to be strong in order to have a fleet of ships or to have tons of islands under your flag, but it's not necessary. You don't necessarily need strength in order to do that. But you know what you do need strength in order to do? To be the world's strongest swordsman.
What, either Cloud or a Black Blade?
Or Black Blade.
But here's the thing I think about with Mihawk. I think that it's still sort of ambiguous, the kind of like power scale with him, because Oda has prefaced that on
skill.
Purpose,
he has never said strength.
He's much of his like
skill.
backstory.
He's feeding into the debate. Oda is a troll. He is feeding into this debate. Every time you bring up Mihawk over Shanks, you bring up the title, which I understand, but the key word and adjective for me, every time Oda brings it up, is skill. He never flat out says strength. Flat out say strength, Oda, and I won't say shit about Mihawk and Shanks again. I promise.
Just to switch gears from Mihawk and Shanks, and guys, we might wrap up soon. It's already getting late. I have to work this weekend. I'll just kind of, I really didn't want to throw out the names because, I want to kind of leave it to be a surprise. That way, when we have, a deeper conversation, next stream, we could dive into this deeper. But I would argue, chat, that Emu, when he talks about domination and the, seeking power and stuff like that, I would argue he is thinking in ways that Thomas Hobbes used to think, right? Thomas Hobbes, he used to argue that people needed power. They needed a central power, because people like Thomas Hobbes, they believed that life is solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. Right? He believed that humans, they had this restless desire for power that only leads to death, right? So he believed that people needed to have a pact. People needed to make a social contract. right? To escape the chaos of everyone wanting to dominate each other, people had to have a pact. They had to surrender their rights to a sovereign like Emu. And we can even see philosophers early on, I think people like Plato, they said the same thing, that people will be people would be open to giving away their rights and giving away their freedom if it means that they can have security, right? Like we can't just live in a town or live in a country where people can steal my apples or I could steal their bread, because then we can never have proper trade. In order to protect my apples or to protect your bread, we need a central authority. We need policemen. We need the state. But in order to have the state, we would have to sacrifice rights and freedom. But when you take this to an extreme like Thomas Hobbes, or if you talk even about just social contract theory, Emu is thinking the same way, right? But Emu, maybe it's with a more darker tone, but someone like Joy Boy, he would be thinking like Jean-Jacques Rousseau, right? I think I'm pronouncing it wrong, where they believe that man is born free and everywhere he is in chains, right? These are the kinds of people that believe humans are inherently good. But notice how with the first one, people like Thomas Hobbes or people like Emu, they don't necessarily think humans are inherently good. They think humans inherently seek power. They believe humans are inherently selfish. So if we buy into this kind of idea, and you could look more into it if you guys want, but I would suggest waiting until I have like a full-fledged stream to discuss this further. If you think about this on a more deeper level, then you can actually envision why Joy Boy and Emu had beef. And I know people could say like, oh, well, Joy Boy took Lily. That was Emu's girl. Like, we can leave the jokes aside for a second. Clearly, there was a philosophical, ethical dilemma and conflict between Emu and Joy Boy. But what was it? Was it just as shallow as, I want to be the king, screw you? Like, chances are it was going to be it's something more deeper than that. And what bears what bears witness to this is that last arc, Vegapunk literally said that what sparked the Void Century was a conflict of two ideologies. So I think, this idea of like social contract theory, Emu believing in a pact, what we see Thomas Hobbes talk about in the Leviathan versus people like Jean-Jacques Rousseau, what he talks about with his freedom in humans, human autonomy. I think like this is going to be something we see between Emu and Joy Boy.
So I think Emu and Joy Boy being friends, which fits completely everything that you just said. I also agree. I agree there was a philosophical, there was an ethical dilemma, and I think it all stemmed from which way were they going to steer the ancient kingdom. And then all the 20 kings came in, and Emu, after he had that divide with Joy Boy, he's like, all right, screw it, I'm going to join the other side. And I'm going to make my way the way.
Yes, and I want to respond to L really quick. L said, so he's saying we'd all wage war against each other if we weren't controlled. Yes, that's exactly what a lot of people believe. Now, you could argue whether it's true or false, but you got to look at their belief for what it is and critically analyze and critique their view if you disagree with them. So, I think Emu, he's going to be having again this idea, this worldview similar to again Thomas Hobbes. You guys could look into the Leviathan, where they believe that humans inherently want power. We love the idea of power. We love the idea of domination and control, but that's going to come at a cost, right? So that's why they came up with things like social contract theory, that we make a deal, we make a contract, and I get what I want, you get what you want. They think like that's what morals and ethics are based off of. And I think that this is going to apply to how Emu views and sees the world. But the underlying thing, the bigger thing to get at is that if we now, like if you guys look into this and we discuss this next stream on a much deeper level, I just wanted to kind of toss this out there really quick. If you buy into this idea, then you can then try to imagine, okay, why did Joy Boy and Emu have a problem? What did Joy Boy do? Like you have much more room about actions, decisions, and playmaking because you now have a better understanding on how he thinks and why he thinks.
Let me say this: is he is? I don't think Emu is wrong for thinking like that because actually it's true. Humans does want power and stuff like that, but there's a better way for you to control.
Big Vincent, you still in here, bro?
Yeah, I'm still here.
You've seen Invincible, right?
Yeah, I've seen Invincible.
Imagine if Emu had the same line of thinking of the Viltrumites.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's like definitely got conquest mentality right there. Or Throg.
Yeah, going back to Jabril, I agree. I think that's going to be a critical point from Oda. Oda is going to try to aim for a worldview or a belief system for Emu, what that a lot of people can relate to, a worldview or a belief system. Maybe on the surface it comes off very consistent. And I think Oda, he's a very intelligent person. I think he's a very well-versed writer. He's a well-versed author. With that being said, we could see how in all types of media, you guys, I guarantee you guys have experienced this before. You watch a movie, you watch a show, you read a book, you read a comic, you watch an anime, you see the villain, the bad guy. He starts talking and you're like, wait a second, he's actually right. Wait a second, the villain's actually cooking. Wait, he actually has a point. I think that's definitely going to be something that Oda goes for, and I think it's something that Oda has already done before in One Piece. So
some of the most complex villains in all of this shit. Like, we're talking comics, we're talking anime, we're talking radio shows, all this, all that, movies. The best villains are complex villains. The best villains are the ones that you're like, wow, he could be right. Like, for example, Thanos was right. The universe is becoming overpopulated. We only have a finite amount of resources. Wipe out half, and the other half that lives can thrive. But the problem is they're going to remember everybody they lost.
See, now
it's
the
a
thing
small
is,
price to pay.
Right. Yeah. That was the point I was going to bring up. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Watchmen story from DC.
Yeah, I've seen that one
That's
too.
also
Yeah,
a
I've seen
critical part
Watchmen.
from that too. And also with like Vegapunk, when he said, I don't want to muddy the lines between good and evil, the person who's trying to put pass judgment on me. So that sparked my mind with going, like he was talking about Emu. We can all infer that person who's inferring judgment on him. But you could look at the Harley text and it even says mankind succumbed to greed and touched the forbidden sun. So we can incur from that, possibly talking about the mother flame.
By the way, the humanity touching the forbidden sun, I know it's like in a different context for One Piece, but that just makes me think of Prometheus giving humans fire in Greek mythology. We weren't supposed to ever get fire. Zeus didn't want us to have fire.
Right.
And in turn, he got punished for it by being chained up and fed to a bird every day.
His liver would regenerate. It would peck out his liver, and it would regenerate overnight, and the bird would come back and peck it again.
When we talk about Emu versus Joy Boy, or what will become Emu versus Luffy, you guys have to try to imagine what it would be like when we reach that point. Let's say Emu does have a worldview. He has a belief system that on the surface comes off consistent. Like Emu makes a point. Emu has a point. Well,
and
then what?
I think you're right. Because the simple fact that Oda has always said that when Luffy beats somebody, he's destroying their ideals. He's destroying their dream. So that's what Luffy is going to do to Emu. Whatever his worldview is, Luffy is going to break it and shatter it.
I think even deeper than that, though, because like if we see Emu ruling the world, causing all these problems, and then when we finally get like this kind of like this intro to the conclusion where Emu's giving his worldview and it's making full sense, and a lot of the readers think that Emu has a consistent belief system. Well, then what? Because you're going to be looking at Emu and thinking like, well, everything he's saying, he has a point. Maybe when he critiques humans and their drive for power, their drive for dominion, that is true. He has a point. The problem is that we're going to recognize the result. We're going to see the fruits of Emu's worldview. We're going to see the fruits of his control, but then turn around and look at his belief system. And there's going to be a conflict there. You're going to be thinking the way he thinks, what he's saying is completely true. In fact, I agree with Emu, but we don't like the result of what Emu's doing. So the question what's going to happen is Oda is going to cause us to think why is it like this? Why is the One Piece world like this? Why does it operate like this? Why is the One Piece world suffering? It's going to have the reader think deeply. It's going to have the reader think, wait, do I actually agree with Emu? And do I have presuppositions that I'm not questioning? What is good? What is evil? Is it just an idea? Is it nominal? Is it real? Does it exist somewhere? Is there such thing as perfect justice? It's going to have we're going to have these deeper questions, because we can't just I get it. Don't get me wrong, I get it. Luffy, he's not a deep thinker. Luffy's not a philosopher, right? He's just going to punch someone and run away. But I think when we're coming to the pinnacle of One Piece, or wrapping up the story, looking at the bigger picture, there has to be deeper answers. There's going to be a deeper message given to the reader. And I think Oda's going to inspire us. He's going to instill within us, or he has already instilled within us, this pattern of, why is this person wrong? Why should I agree with them? Why should I disagree with them? What is the answer? If Emu has a cohesive or consistent worldview that leads to negative consequences, maybe I shouldn't agree with him. Maybe there is something wrong in his worldview. And I think that's going to be a very important point when it comes to the conclusion of One Piece.
I'll pose a question to you. Reading the Harley text, we can deduce that the gods of the One Piece world were fighting and they were running amok, and there was a finite amount of resources to go around. People were enslaved and whatnot. So I pose this question to everybody. What would you do if you were in a position of power to try to lift people up and try to combat against that? Because that's exactly what the Harley text is, exposition wise. That's what it's saying. So what would you do?
That is a great question. I'm going to let you guys go first, but chat, we're going to wrap up the stream here. I have to be somewhere tomorrow in the morning. We'll wrap it up with this great question. I want to hear everybody's take on it, everyone's answer, and then we'll depart and be back soon. Any one of you guys can go first if you want.
You go first, Damon.
We've seen from the Harley text just said man killed the sun and became God. So of course it was wars that was being fought after the gods in the One Piece world were fighting. It's just how would you go about that expedition wise? And Vegapunk even asked that question too. It's just you don't want it to be so morally gray. And even Emu even asked, what's the difference between a god and a devil? And I think Oda preferenced it that in this realm, those with power and those who don't, and then it becomes a burden of the mighty issue. Those who are burdened with knowledge, they have to lead others. And so we see that exposition wise, Emu taking on everything, that brunt of that, to be able to lead his people. But then it came to a conflict of interest. It came to a head between him and Joy Boy. So that'll probably be what the Void Century will be. Both of those factions coming against one another to see whose ideology is going to win out. Naruto, Sasuke sort of thing.
So I'll answer your question with 2 points. The one where you specifically were talking about lifting people up. For that one, you got to give them agency, man. You got to give people agency and feel like they have control over their lives, and then you can uplift them. And the second point I have is that, when you talk about a burden, naturally, the way I look at it, it's the burden of the strong to protect the weak in this society. If you are being upstanding and moral. If you see a little kid getting pushed around, are you going to step in and help that kid? I know I would.
If I could pitch in, I would, I guess if it's coming down to finite resources, I mean, from like, it would just come from my worldview, right? So I believe in Oriental Orthodox Christianity. That's where I would get my good and evil from. But in the case of finite resources, I could also opt into or utilize a form of utilitarianism where I would try to help the most amount of people as possible, right? So if I had like a limited amount of fruits, I wouldn't just give it to a small amount of elites. I would try to give it to as many people as possible. That's probably something that I would do. Now, in terms of giving people freedom and agency, I totally agree with Smokey. I think normal humans, when we feel very caged in, very limited, very controlled, it's like harmful to the soul. We have a negative reaction to it. While simultaneously, I think a lot of people actually like the control. I think a lot of people, the way they live life is like, hey, tell me what to believe and tell me what to do, man. I don't really want to think deeply about wars. I don't want to think deeply about politics, the world, all these philosophical questions. You just whatever, bro. Just tell me what to do. I think a lot of people genuinely live that way. And to other people's, they feel like that's not freedom. They feel like that's slavery. So that is one thing to think about. And also, I think everything comes at a price. If you want great security, that comes at the price of freedom. And if you want great freedom, that comes at the price of security. If we have too much freedom, people get perverted with, evil thoughts, or they get access to things that end up being detrimental to society in the name of freedom. So I think it's a very difficult thing to deal with. I also want to toss in, if that's okay, if Emu does go down this route of being such a deep thinker, almost like Doflamingo might have been a proto-Emu, where Doflamingo had the harder hitting questions. Doflamingo says things like, the winners of the war, the winners decide history. These deeper philosophical, more profound sayings to leave the reader with. If Emu is that times two or that turned up, maybe Emu even takes the position of someone like Plato, where I believe we should have a philosopher king. I believe that the leader of the world, the leader of the nation, should be someone that just sits in a room, thinks all day, right? But you're not, if that is the case, you're not actually with the people. You don't have an emotional connection to the homeless man. You don't have an emotional connection or relationship to the widow. And I think that this is very important when it comes to being a leader. That's why when we see good presidents or good prime ministers, they're with the homeless. They're feeding the homeless. They're helping the poor man. They're helping the widow. They're helping the children. That is an important element to a good leader. That is something we would see in someone like Luffy. That's probably someone that we would see in Joy Boy. Notice how Luffy's not a deep thinker, though, and people would still love him as a hero or a leader versus someone that's only mind. You need the balance of mind and body. It's not only body. You have to think sometimes. We have difficult questions being posed to us. What do we do with our limited food? What do we do with our limited electricity? We got to think. We got to get to the nitty gritty. But it's also the body. Are you interacting with people? Are you serving people? It's not about you being served. Who cares if you're the king? If you're the king, you need to serve the people, not the people serve you. So
a country is its people.
I'm sorry if I kind of avoided your question. I hope I answered your question, but it's an interesting question because it goes many different directions in my head.
Same.
And I'll make
it's just to get the
short.
everybody's worldview and everybody's brain percolating for like you guys said, you're gonna cover that more next week. But that's just something to get everybody in that frame of mind of thinking that we're going to see exposition wise Emu doing what he did. He could have good ideas, good machinations, but it's him doing the right thing, but for the wrong reasons, but he's doing the right thing. That sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's just the way that he went about it in one way to
so bad execution.
I wouldn't necessarily even say bad execution, just the opportunities that was laid to him and he took advantage of it, and that's just the way it fell out. Because like
For
Vegapunk
me,
said, it's like you muddy the waters between like good and bad. So whom are we to be like, hey, what you did was bad? He's like, hey, I'm trying to save my people. There's gods in the One Piece world going rampant. There's slavery. There's people homelessness and whatnot. I'm doing what I got to do to help save my people. And if you think that's bad, then so be it.
It can
Well-
go. I'll pass it to Vincent because I know Vincent needs to share his piece, but I'll throw this in. Emu turns around to Luffy, turns around to Joy Boy. Who are you to tell me what good is and what evil is? If you can't even tell me what good is and how we know what good is more than just I feel like it, well, how can you tell me what I'm doing is evil?
Exposition wise,
just
like say that Luffy, he's the herald, he's the god of destruction, the sun god. Every time the sun god appears, destruction follows. Just to give exposition.
Yeah, I was just about to say that same thing that Revo said. That how can you tell what is truly good and what is truly evil with this situation? Because if Emu's ideals started off good and they eventually turned evil, how do you know that it's actually still good or if it truly is borderline evil? Benjamin Franklin said this best: if you choose liberty over security, you will be treated with neither and receive neither. There, I don't know if that's
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Benjamin Franklin said this: if you choose liberties over security, you deserve neither and will be given neither. There. So I don't know if it relates to this situation, but if Emu gave people the choice to be under his security, then and that means that those people lost their rights to have a choice in the matter. They're kind of like how the 20 Kingdoms chose to fall under Emu instead of being their own free range.
That's a great quote. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm all done.
I like that quote. I could see Emu telling Joy Boy or Luffy that you believe in so much liberty, you're gonna screw yourself in the process. Emu could have good points. Emu could be like, hey, maybe he was talking to Joy Boy at that time. Hey, look at these 5 kingdoms, for an example. Look at these 5 kingdoms, right? They have freedom, and look, it's a hell, right? We need security. We need control. We need a leader. We need a central authority, right?
And then Joy Boy said, "Whoa, man, whoa, that's too much control. We need freedom." And then boom, ethical dilemma, philosophical differences, the falling out of Emu and Joy Boy.
Joy Boy's all about making love. Emu's about making war. At the end, war won.
Those two different ideologies coming to a path, coming on a crash collision course with one another. So whoever wins out, it becomes his story. The victor gets the spoils, and that's what we'll see with like the Void Century, I believe.
And I think the point, Oda's, that's a beautiful point. I think the next step Oda's illustrating is even if the winner won and chose how the world should be ran, that doesn't even mean that they are right. Just because Emu, and you're not saying this, Damon, I'm just saying, just because
I agree with that.
Just because Emu was stronger and defeated Joy Boy, hypothetically, that doesn't mean Emu's method is gooder or just or anything. He was just stronger. So I think like, these quotes from Doflamingo's pointing to that.
Remember, like, spoilers for anybody in here. Like with Naruto and Sasuke fought at the end. Sasuke wanted to become a dictator. That's why he chose to bring all the other tail beasts into himself. And he was like, people need somebody to hate. I'll be the one that people will hate. I'll be that North Star. So in essence, we could reverse and flip that. That's what maybe Emu tried to do. Be like, hey, people need a ruler. People need, like you said, people need structure. People need dominion, and they need something to look towards.
So Emu basically popped out and was like Tony Montana and said, "I'll be the bad guy.
I'll be the bad guy." Right.
One more thing
the villain that everyone hates.
One more thing I'll throw in, and then I think we'll wrap it up here. I was actually talking to a close friend about this yesterday. Well, not about this, but along the similar lines yesterday. We were pointing out that with all of these different political views and political ideologies, I would argue, and he would argue, that there is no perfect political view. Ultimately, what it boils down to is who's the one with the authority, who is the state. Whether you have the most perfect design of capitalism, or the most perfect design of communism, or the most perfect design of socialism, democracy, who's the one with the power? Because you can abuse all of these systems. And maybe this is even something that Oda will explore. Maybe even during the Void Century time, Emu had a system. Maybe it made so much sense, but the people in power abused it. And maybe it was even true for Joy Boy. I know a lot of us, we just assume Joy Boy was, he was just perfectly good. We just assume the Ancient Kingdom was perfectly good. Maybe it had its own flaws. Maybe it had its own rulers. Maybe the Ancient Kingdom caused Emu to be the way he is. We really don't know. But I do think it would be very interesting to see this idea. Maybe Oda doesn't even believe this, but maybe he can explore this concept. It almost doesn't matter with the political ideologies if the people running it, if the state are evil.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. Maybe Emu's ideals hadn't changed, but everyone else around them warped it into something that is completely different from what Emu wanted. Like, he barely shows himself to anyone except for the Holy Knights and the Gorosei. So maybe the other Celestials are just warping what Emu's intentions truly are for this world in their favor. It's not even Emu's doing.
That's actually interesting. I never even considered that.
I think Emu doesn't care about the Celestials at all. In fact, I think he actually hates him.
He just sees them as a tool.
Exactly.
I have this other theory that maybe the 20 Kingdoms actually turned on Emu and killed like most of the Lunarians that came from the moon to the Earth, and Emu just went ape shit on all of them and just commanded respect from each and every one of them. Like, they kill his bloodline, so he ruins their lives.
I think it's possible. I think that'd be very interesting.
Possible.
But I like the one. I like more of the idea of Emu committing self-genocide on his race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like this idea that he might be a Lunarian. Well, the Lunarians lived above the red line, so what's going on there?
And felt that it was better to have a hand on the wheel than to just let it be up to faith. Other people, determine their destiny. He took destiny into his own hands.
Yeah, because what if it's this guy's destiny to blow up my country? What if it's this guy? What if Davy Jones' destiny is to rule the world as an evil dude? I need to be the one to do it. But wait, what if
which can parallel with Itachi?
Yeah. Itachi.
He stopped the coup with the Uchihas because it would have led to infighting within the Leaf Village because they wanted to stage a coup against the village. So to quell that, to keep other nations from invading, he decided to take up the mantle to kill the rest of the people in his clan.
Could you
imagine? Now I'm gonna say the funny joke.
Itachi, dude, that's insane.
All roads lead to Obito. Never forget.
Again with this, all roads lead to Obito.
Now we just see Emu being dual-eyed.
All right. Guys, thank you so much for being here. These are some awesome questions and discussions towards the end. I greatly appreciate you guys. God bless everyone in the voice chat. Damon, Smokey, Vincent, and then we had Mo earlier, Jabril, etc. Everyone in the text chat, thank you for being here. I promise we'll go live during break week. I promise we will, chat. Don't stress. Don't worry. We'll go live for break week. Someone even said that we might get a chapter next week anyways, but
that's what I was saying. It's a magazine. It's a magazine break. But with the climate now, anyway. With the climate with the leakers though, I don't know. I'm 50-50. I'm up in the air. I'm 50-50 on it.
The leakers are scared.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of.
They're afraid that the government's going to come and bomb their asses.
Which is wrong. The government should be going and bombing other people's asses that actually deserve it. Priorities, government. Get it together.
Yeah. True.
If it was up to me with the government, I'd be emptying out our prisons, turning them into libraries, and send all those fuckers to Afghani where they belong.
Well, if it was up to me, being a PDF equals instant death.
Publicly.
Yes.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody. You guys are great, amazing. Whether we get the chapter next week or not, we'll be back. I promise we'll have that philosophical stream. Hopefully we can have Damon here because he's a powerhouse with this kind of stuff. Of course, Smokey and Vincent have their fair share. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. You guys are all awesome. Have a beautiful, wonderful morning, day, or night, wherever you guys are. Take care. I wish you guys the absolute best. I'll always be praying for you guys. Make sure to pray for me. Keep me in your prayers. Take care, everybody. Emu top one.
GG, gentlemen.
GG.